Hey world, it's being able to come back to another video. Family, I'm outside here chilling, enjoying nature, and it's pretty nice out here. Besides these gnats all over the place. But I wanted to talk about something today because it's you don't see as many people walking as you would like. Walking is always a sign of good, healthy living. You want to make it a lifestyle, not a chore when it comes to exercising. And the simplest way you can do that is just by walking. It's less stress on your knees and back, but it's very productive, especially if you fast walk. Wow, these damn gnats. But family, I came across something on the wire. I've been digging into this for a minute, but I just wanted to make sure I got a lot more facts together before I drop the video. And if the title is the third cause of death, or the third leading cause of death in the United States, will shock you. And it's medical errors and medical malpractices. Can you believe that? Over 250,000 people a year die from medical malpractices and medical errors in the hospitals. 98,000 people in any given year die in the hospital for medical errors. Now, that's staggering when you think about how, President Trump was saying there's a opioid crisis. Well, but crisis because, I think 70,000 people OD'd on opioids and those drugs. But you have over 200,000 people dying in hospitals. And you have, over 500,000 people a year dying from, drug usage. But what they don't tell you about that number is out of the 570,000 people that die yearly from, drug usage, over 400,000 of that is cigarette related. So you would think that the crisis is nicotine, not opioids. And why aren't the politicians, bringing this to the public's attention? I think this is serious. And when you go to a hospital and you leave there sicker than when you got there, or when you get misdiagnosed, okay? I mean, think about this. The first two leading cause of death in America are cardiovascular disease, or cardiovascular problems, and cancer. But what they don't tell you about the cardiovascular death is the association of nicotine with those. Because remember, if you're smoking a lot of cigarettes, it's going to have a negative effect on your heart. So the real crisis is nicotine and cigarettes. And the tobacco companies know it because they spend almost $25 million a day on advertising. Okay? What they call it TAPs, tobacco advertising and promotions. They spend billions of dollars for advertising to keep this poison that has almost I know it's over 300 to 1,000 chemicals involved in it, in cigarettes. You got to know it's terrible for you because pregnant women can't do it. And the effect it have on people that don't even smoke. Okay? So I digress. These medical deaths and the fact that hospitals has paid over $3 billion in medical malpractice lawsuits and nobody know about that is staggering. These are people that are sick, are being told they're sick, going to hospitals and being, for lack of a better word, being killed. All right? That's staggering. And we're more concerned with global warming and climate change, which they call it now climate crisis, because anytime they want to, ramp up the ante with their agendas, they have to put more of a negative stigma on it, So it's the climate crisis now, which this world that we live in has been doing what she's been doing for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years. And I'm telling you, it's pretty presumptuous of man to think that they can come in and destroy something the Most High created. And we haven't even tapped into all of the world. Okay? So, family, do your research. I just thought that was staggering to know that many people are dying from medical errors in the hospitals. And I mean, if on the flip side of it, you know, your former First Lady, Michelle Obama, used to work for a hospital in Chicago. She was a vice president. And her job was to make sure that people that didn't have insurance didn't flood the emergency room at the hospital. Now, that's pretty cold-blooded. I mean, here you are, you know, shortly after that, you become the First Lady of the United States, and your job was to turn away patients in the emergency room so that the hospital wouldn't have to accrue costs. When the hospital you worked at, where you made $300,000 a year, you know, and it was a non-profit organization, this hospital, University of Chicago Medical Center. And they only pretty much donated 1.2% of all the monies that they will receive. And remember, these type of hospitals, non-profit organization hospitals, you know, on an average, you know, you're supposed to donate 2.1%, but the hospital Michelle Obama worked at was only donating 1.2%. And that's indicative of how it went down when her and Obama was in office. They didn't do much for Afro-melanated people. All right? So once again, big ups, Mr. Smith, for what you did. And remember, take your health in your own hands. When 45 dentists are telling you something, or 45 doctors are telling you something, I will pretty much have the red flags go up, because, you know, when you do your research, you find out how many people are actually dying. I mean, what? In 2013 alone, the state of Illinois paid out like $180 billion in medical malpractice hospital lawsuits. Why we don't know about this? And why are innocent people dying in hospitals, and the hospitals getting off by just paying a couple $1 million here, $1 million there in lawsuits? That's a lot of death, people. All right? So family, take control of your health. Remember, you are what you eat. And, you know, it's important that you understand that. Manifest your own destiny. Don't have other doctors, because just like there are good teachers and bad teachers, just like there are good lawyers and bad lawyers, there are good doctors and bad doctors. Okay? And so don't put your livelihood in the hands of someone that you don't feel comfortable with. And I promise you, you know your body better than anybody. All right? So family, in the meantime, between time, may the Most High Society bring you joy. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And being well is out of 5,000.